All right, guys, as you probably figured out, I am not in class today. I am at school, but I am in an all-day meeting, so I won't be here. I'm hoping that that does not mean that you're taking the liberty to act foolish and that you're remembering everything that we've worked on this week. So please keep that in mind for today's activities. What you are seeing on the screen here is where we left off yesterday on our PowerPoint of how to read graphic novels. And so today we're going to talk about the importance of panel sizing. Yesterday we talked about key vocab, right, that you associate with graphic novels, like the gutter and the layouts and the speech balloons and things like that, the narrative boxes, the layout. So today we're going to talk about the importance of the sizes of the actual boxes within the layout. And so you're going to look at examples on 2 slides. And I want you to think about 3 things because you're going to be tested on this later in the period. The first is, what's the author trying to communicate in the layout? The second is, how do the panel sizes help? And finally, how is the message impacted by the images inside each panel? I'm going to do one as an example. Again, you are to listen and learn, and then use this as a model because you're going to do one for practice. Share out what you think, and then at the end of class again, you're going to be assessed on how well you took this on. So here's the first layout, and I want you to think of this as if you're looking at a quotation, right? So when we read the short story How To, the whole idea was to take certain quotations and analyze them deeply and learn more about the characters through them. We're doing the exact same thing with American Born Chinese. It's just that in addition to words, we also have images to help us along. So this is one of the layouts in the book that you guys got yesterday. And as a reader, the first thing I do is I'm reading it. We learned yesterday, it's from left to right and then top to bottom. So I'm looking and I'm seeing what looks like little kids playing, like some hopscotch, some running around. Guess that little girl's trying to kiss that little boy. Then I see this other little boy kind of sitting there. Looks like he's eating with chopsticks. I'm making an assumption that this is the little kid that we got introduced to yesterday. Remember in the class when they made all those inappropriate jokes about him? And then we see these 3 kids, this focus in on these 3 kids, and one saying, "What the hell is that?" And I'm inferring that they're approaching this kid, which is verified in the second one. It says dumplings. And then this kid, who I recognize to be the kid that talked about um, Chinese people eating dogs in the panel I showed you yesterday, sniffs the food, and you can tell already. You can tell from his facial expression there's some judging going on. Then he says, stay away from my dog. So he's continuing the comment we saw yesterday. This other kid with the buck teeth laughs, and then the blonde kid with the curly hair says, hey, be cool, man. So now I'm thinking about the first question. Now that I've read the panels and checked out the whole layout, I'm ready to think about what's the author trying to communicate here. And my goal is to be able to answer that in one sentence. And I think that this kid, the kid in the middle here, is ignored or picked on, but no one wants to hang out with him. So here he's ignored, and here he's picked on. And regardless of the situation, nobody is by him. The benches are completely closed. The second question asks me, how do the panel sizes help? And unfortunately, you can't really see that on the screencast, but that's what it says up there. How do the panel sizes help? So when I look at the panel sizes, I'm going to look row by row. So the first row that I'm looking at, I see that here the panels are connected. There's no gutter, right? There's no white space in between. And I think to me, that means that no gutter between the first row panels makes it seem like time is moving fast, right? Like it's all connected. Your eyes are moving quickly throughout. And again, sorry that you can't see that up there. Then I look at the second row and I see that this panel is the same size as these 3 combined. And so it seems to me in that panel, the large size of it makes it seem like time is traveling slowly. Also, because the panel is so large, it's impossible not to see that the kid is alone. So now I'm ready to look at the third row. Third row seems to go back to normal, right? The panel sizes are normal. You can see the kids clearly, whereas in the first row, they're kind of a blur, which again contributes to time moving fast. And here you can see the panels clearly with the gutter in between. And that to me says the panels are drawn normally in the final row, which shows that time has now returned to normal. My final question that I'm supposed to answer is, how is the message impacted by the images inside this panel? So inside each of the panels. So I think that the row 2 shows me that the kid is really lonely during recess, right? Nobody by him. Even though there are plenty of other kids, no one wants to play with him. I know that from row 1. Look at how many kids there are. You can even see the outline of the kids in the background, a whole mess of kids. Nobody with him. And when they do interact, it's to make fun of him because he's different. And so I know that because they were asking about his food, he had to explain that it was dumplings, and then they made fun of him for eating the dog. Now I'm ready to put my answer together. And you should be thinking, what I essentially just did is I annotated the layout. And now, because I've annotated the layout, I've interacted with the text, and I can come up with my final answer. Notice how long it is, right? This is essentially a paragraph in and of itself. And my final answer is, this page of the graphic novel communicates that the kid is sitting in the middle row, he's lonely, and is ignored by most people or else made fun of. In the first row, the panels are not separated by a gutter, so the reader sees that time is moving quickly, which is how it feels when one has fun. The second row only has one panel, and it's the same size as the 3 in row 1 combined. This is to show how slowly time must be traveling for the kid since he's not having any fun. Finally, the panels on the last row seem to be drawn normally, showing that time has returned to normal. Because of the images on row 1, the reader knows it's recess, and lots of kids are having fun. Row 2 shows that this kid, the focus kid, is not playing with anybody else, and there's not even anyone around him. Finally, row 3 shows how when someone does approach the kid, it's to make fun of him. The kid is the only one who seems Asian, and the kids messing with him look white. So it's obvious he's being made fun of because he's different. Now you're ready to try. So remember to use those 3 questions as a guide. And I want you guys to analyze this layout here. Write your answer on the general handout that you got yesterday. And when you're done with that, we're going to introduce the first character in the text called the Monkey King. You're going to take some notes on a video that you're going to watch. And we're going to end class with you guys taking a quiz that quizzes you on the vocab for graphic novels, your ability to analyze a layout from a graphic novel, and finally, the information that you're going to learn from the video that you're going to watch after this activity. Good luck, guys. Behave, learn lots, and I will see you all either after school or on Tuesday.